today, and welcome. Thank you all for taking this step and making sure that you have your brand uh, in the right. Wait a minute. Look, let me make sure I know what I'm doing. You want to make sure that you have your brand in the right posture, for growth. So we're gonna zip through this. I know that it's straight up 6 o'clock. I like to start on time so that we can end on time, because I know this is Thursday night. So everybody's going to be looking for those great television shows. So again, thank you guys so much for being a part of tonight's webinar, which is 7-step framework to position your brand for growth. So we're going to just go ahead and get started. This is a masterclass from the 360 Brand Protection Facebook group. So again, I'm not sure how many of you are a part of that Facebook group, but for those of you who are a part of that group, you know how much we talk about this. So I'm going to just go ahead and get right into it. Again, this is the 7-step framework to position your brand for growth. Okay, so the biggest question, I know that everybody wants to make sure that they are, I'm going to move this out of the way so I can see. You want to make sure that you are in the right place, right? Again, this is the 7-step framework to grow your brand. And so these are some of the questions that we're going to talk about kind of up front in the first segment. Is, are you in the right place? Number 2, what's in it for you, right? You want to know, you want to make sure that you want to be in the right place. You want to make sure that this is something that's going to be beneficial to you and your brand. And 3, what do I want from you, right? Because every time people do these type of webinars, of course, what? They always want something, right? So to answer your question, are you in the right place, right? I hope you are, but let's see. So getting started, are you in the right place? Well, you are if you have or are starting a business or struggling to grow. You know your business has growth potential, but you are unsure exactly how to do that. You want to establish a framework or a system to create a steady stream of income. Now, hopefully that's you. But if you are an MLM, which meaning all you're wanting to do is get people under you, right? You're not looking to grow your business. You're not looking to do anything else. If it's just a side hustle, meaning that you just kind of do this to get some extra cash, but you're not really looking to do anything with it beyond making sure that you're able to take that next great vacation. Number 3, is it a hobby? Meaning that you really love this and you're so passionate about it, but you absolutely hate when people ask you to do it for them. If that is you, you are in the wrong place, right? Now, here's the tough part, because some of you may be in the right place or the wrong place, but here's the next thing, that even if you're in the right place, you're in the wrong place, right? If you plan to just kind of get this free info, and you might get mad if I provide, or when, not even if, because I will, provide an investment opportunity in a system that offers the services that you need to grow a profitable brand, right? So if you fit that criteria and you're in the right place and you understand there will be an offer of investment at the end and you're not mad about it, you're in the right place. If you fit any of those other criteria, thank you so much for joining, but we don't want you to get mad, right? Okay, so again, what's in it for you? Because this is really, for me, the biggest part of this, right? No one wants to be in a place when and thinking about something that really has nothing to do with them and what they're trying to do. So guess what? You are going to get lots and lots of value. You are going to get strategies, and I am going to share with you some of the proven methods of success, right? Again, that 7-step framework. Now I'm going to tell you guys, if you're just watching, this may not be the spot for you because this is a webinar, right? You need to make sure that you have something that you can take notes with. Very, very crucial, right? Very crucial that you take notes, because this is one of those things, guys, that you're going to want to remember down the road. So again, I'll give you just a couple of minutes, right? But in this time frame, these are the things that you're going to get. Now, before we sort of move forward, I know you guys are like, I don't want to spend all this time with her, and I have no idea, right? I have no idea what's going to happen. So here's how we're going to do this right here. I am going to share a testimonial with you guys about how this program has helped another business owner. So let me make sure that I have this so I can do it right, okay? Hey guys, how are you all doing? In the chat box, y'all, let me know that you're doing okay. So let me see how to get this. I'm looking, guys. I'm making sure that I'm getting this testimonial going for you.
After attending one of the forums LaTanya Moore hosted, I took advantage of the half-price consultation offer, and wow, working with LaTanya was truly an amazing experience. I own a small boutique, and I've been a business owner for some time now. I honestly thought I knew everything I needed to know about how to keep my business operating and on track. And then I met LaTanya. Working with her, she showed me some things that I would have never considered would impact my business. For example, I'm getting married in a few months. LaTanya showed me how my marriage could potentially impact my business. In my business, I work with several freelancers and independent contractors. After working with LaTanya, I can see where there are some major gaps in our process that could expose the business to liability. I really could talk all day about what I learned, but the biggest takeaway for me was I didn't have to feel afraid or embarrassed about not knowing something about my own business. She made me feel at ease about the things I felt ashamed to share. LaTanya has already helped me avoid some major pitfalls that could have ruined my business. Being a part of the coaching program and having been invited to be part of the Mastermind Intensive this summer, I know is going to help me build a sustainable business.
Okay, so why did I show you that? I showed you guys that because I want you to know that what we're going to go over tonight works. And there are other people that have taken advantage of it, okay? So why did I show you that at that juncture, right? Because again, remember I told you, there are going to be people that are going to be saying, why did you make me this offer at the end? So I wanted to share that testimonial, guys, with you up front so that you know that this actually does work, okay? So again, just wanted to let you guys know that this does work. Now you guys know me, so you know I have some technical difficulties, but this is how we do every day. This is let's say the real deal, right? So I got to make sure that I have everything the way that it's supposed to be. So while I'm getting this together, guys, I want you in the chat box, if you can, in the chat box, let me know the name of your business, okay? Put the name of your business in the chat box. Okay, awesome. So we already talked about why you're here. We already talked about what you're going to get. And then it comes down to what do I want, right? Because again, full disclosure, everyone wants something, right? So here's what I want. I want you guys to be attentive. I want you to be open-minded. I want you to be respectful. I want you to take plenty of notes. I want you to apply what you learned today. I want you to connect with resources. But most importantly, guys, I really, really want you to win, right? So this is really awesome, right? But what will you gain? you're going to gain the knowledge of the pitfalls that new and emerging brands face with growth. Okay? We're going to talk about a few of those. We're also going to talk about, and we're going to go over in detail, my 7-step framework to position your brand for growth. Now, most things, right? Most things you can do yourself. So I'm going to see if I can share. I don't know. For some reason, I lost that. So here's the thing. I'm gonna say this because oftentimes there are lots of people. If you're like me, right? You've done some DIY stuff that didn't quite turn out the way that you wanted it to, right? So having hit a wall, right? The next logical step is not to bang your head on it. Because if you're like me, you're one of these people that you really like to do things yourself, right? You like to try it yourself. You like to get your hands dirty. But sometimes you have to come to that place where you need help, right? Sometimes you may need a little advice. You may need support. You may need guidance. You may need assistance. So we want you guys to know that part of this process, right, of getting ready for growth is to understand that you may need help one day, right? Even if you're a DIYer. So those of you, I'm going to open up the chat box. I think the chat box is already open. Which would you rather have? And this is based on who you are, right? Would you rather have 24/7 DIY access, do-it-yourself access, or would you rather have 24/7 access to a team? So let me see what's going on in the chat box over here, right? Oh, wow. So we have Career Pathways. We have Providence Solutions, Jones Accounting Group, Midwest, Show Me Funny Entertainment, and Operation End Homelessness. So, okay. So most people that have participated, we need everyone to participate. But most of you say that you'd like to have 24/7 team access, right? And why? Because you want to be able to talk some things out, right? You don't want to just download something, because if that's the case, you could do that anyway, right? And why am I asking you guys that question? I'm asking you that question because I really need to know who's on this particular webinar, right? So that we can make sure that we're talking about the things that you guys want to talk about, right? Okay, listen, do hashtag okay if you guys are with me. So for those of you who don't know me, and I'm moving this stuff around so that I can see. For those of you who don't know me, who's LaTanya, right? Besides all the stuff that you guys have heard about, besides all the stuff that you see, besides your research, I'm sure you did some extensive Google research to like page 12. So you know, like, hey, this is who she is. But let me tell you, I'm really just like a mom to most, right? So I do have an adult son that I love, absolutely love, like freaking hanging out with because he's such a cool dude, right? Then I'm a bucket list traveler. So I've made a decision that each year I want to visit a place that is on my bucket list. My bucket list is pretty small as far as travel, but there are some places that before I kick the bucket, I definitely want to go. So you may see me either through social media, or you guys may be a part of the travel group that's going with us on some of this bucket list travel. So very excited about that. But one big thing about me that some of you may not know is that I am like this crazy information seeker. It says information seeker, but it should say information junkie. I love information. I like to just know stuff. So like for those of you who do know me, you're probably like, yeah, that's like totally her. She always sort of says, well, what does that mean? Well, what about that? Well, have you heard about this? Yes, that's me. I am an information seeker and a straight information junkie, right? But I'm also a little amateur designer, truly amateur, right? I just like to create stuff because it helps me keep my mind occupied when I'm not doing the brand protection thing like you guys know me for. Why am I telling you this? I want you guys to know that it's more to life than just that thing that you do, right? And so I know you're saying, what is the framework? What she's talking about? We're actually talking about it now. I am showing and exhibiting the framework to you guys because the very first thing really deals with your mindset, right? Who are you? You have to sort of know your starting point. You have to know like where you are, right? But here's the thing. What was my turning point? I told you guys, I'm pretty much like a reformed DIYer, right? So I was a corporate counsel for a number of years. I was one of those people that was in the hashtag corporate grind. And listen, even if you're still in the corporate grind, there's nothing wrong with that. You're here now because you're looking at getting your business on the right track so that you can do the things that a lot of us didn't do and walk out of that corporate grind, right, into a thriving business, right? The other thing too is I was a victim of the revenue rat race. You know what the revenue rat race is? The revenue rat race, guys, is that thing where, you know, you're constantly just kind of making that same amount of money, like you're not growing, you're not expanding, you don't have any of those things going on, right? I was really tired of that. So all of these things, the corporate grind, the revenue rat race, really was just a turning point for me, right? Because I got to that place where I'm like, God, I should really be doing more. Not just making more money, but really just doing more, being more fulfilled. And so I took the big jump. Well, actually, probably more like the big splat. So what happened, right? Like many of you, I tried to do it myself without any help or guidance, and I ended up with a product that I couldn't use. So if you take a look at that little chair there, I have no idea who's going to sit in that, right? But that's sort of what happened with my business because I researched this, I did that. And here's the thing. Remember, guys, this was before I started to be the brand protector. So I was just like a lot of you. I was starting out, for me, my business was a side hustle, but I really hadn't taken the time to really legitimize it, if that makes sense. So I'm saying it was a side hustle, but in my new categories, it really was more like a glorified hobby, right? Because it was one of those things that I did to make a whole lot of money at one time, but I really wasn't thinking about the business itself, right? I listened to my CPA. I needed an LLC. I needed a creative outlet. I was tired of corporate rat race. But here's the thing. When I took the big jump or big splat, whichever, it was the big splat. But when I took the big splat, I ended up with this, right? The upside down chair that no one could use. And I know some of you may be in that same situation now, right? So I was frustrated. I had no idea what I was going to do. But here's the kicker, right? I was way too proud to seek advice. I didn't want my colleagues and friends to know what a bad situation I was in. And so the bad situation got worse and worse and worse. Why? What happened? I hit a brick wall, right? With every strategy that I tried on my own, I hit a brick wall until finally I ended up losing $75,000 and going out of business. But guess what? This has not been that long ago, right? We're talking 2015 headed into 2016. Hadn't been that long ago, right? And why am I sharing all this with you guys? Because I want you to know that I've been there, right? I am speaking from a place of experience. I'm speaking from a place of that person that's having done it. So what I want you guys to know, well, not just done it, I did it and I failed at it. This is why we're going over these things, because I want you guys to understand, I don't want it to be you, right? I don't want you to do the same things that I did, which is why I'm going to share that 7-step framework that I ended up learning to help change things, right? So how did the 7-step framework help? Okay. It helped me by handling the 3 biggest mistakes that most startups, most entrepreneurs, most people that are looking for growth. It helped growth. It helped that. It really eliminated that. What was even more important is that it produced some immediate results. Not instant. I want to make sure that you guys understand, not instant, but immediate results, right? And it also helped me to get ready for success. So guess what? I can share things with you guys, right? I can share all the mistakes that I made. I can share all of those things with you guys so that you don't make those same mistakes, okay? Do hashtag okay if you're with me, guys. I'm watching. So what are some things that some other people are saying? So I want to share just some of these with you. And these may be some people, some people that you know, you may have recognized some of these names. So Miyoko Taylor is a best-selling author. He's a personal development, emotional mastery coach. His clients are CEOs, public figures, and industry leaders. Let me tell you what Miyoko said. He said, LaTanya is an awesome entrepreneur and businesswoman. She is a trailblazer and will help you achieve breakthrough success in your business as well as your life. Let me tell you one of the reasons why I'm sharing this. Look right here, July 11th, 2017, right? Because I want you guys to understand this transition has not been that long ago. We're talking about the difference between being broke and destitute in 2016, right? And having a best-selling author, personal development, coach to the CEOs saying these things about you in 2017. Right? In July of 2017, after implementing the process that I'm going to share with you guys tonight. Okay? Channy Leslie and her husband, Tim, they own Cajun Corner, a New Orleans-style food truck and catering service, started in LaGrange, Georgia, right? So they utilized some of the principles that they learned, right? Now they've expanded back to New Orleans, right? Which is where they're from. So she says, I've not met LaTanya in person. Now think about that now. This was a month before. I had not met LaTanya in person, but the information she provides is exceptional. Looking forward to growing my business the correct way, right? Now they went from LaGrange, now they're in New Orleans, okay? See a pattern? Okay. Bashay Williams, he's a licensed clinical social worker. He's a blogger best known for his Dear Future Wife series, which you guys may be familiar with, where he tackles love and relationships. So Bashay says, LaTanya is a pleasure to work with, and just know she's very knowledgeable and is a tremendous asset to anyone who is looking for business or life support. I'm happy that I met her, and I recommend her to anyone seeking support. Who knows better than a licensed clinical social worker, right? Okay, that's a little bit of horn tooting, right? Okay, so guys, who in the comment section, right? Who believes that they can have a success story? I'm looking in the comment section. I'm checking you guys out right now. So in this comment section, oh, everybody's here. Yay, yay, yay. In the comment section, right? I want, for those of you that believe at this moment right now that you can have a success story, I want you to do hashtag I can have a success story, right? I want to hear it. I can have a success story. I want to hear that right now. And since I can't hear you, you're going to have to do hashtag I can have a success story right in the comment section. I'm watching. I'm seeing it. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me say this. I want to thank you guys for believing in yourself. I want to thank you guys very, very much for believing in yourself, because when you say hashtag I can have a success story and you're sharing that with other people that are on this feed, you are very serious about this, right? You're very serious about this. You're very serious about your business. But more importantly, right? More importantly, you are very serious about your legacy. So I'm excited, right? I'm excited to know you guys. Man, you guys are awesome, right? So now that everybody believes that they can have a success story, we are ready to really talk about this whole 7-step framework to position your brand for growth. And this is the masterclass, right? This is the masterclass. Now, of course, you guys know you can't get everything at one time, but this is going to get you started, right? This is going to be your starting point. This is going to be the fuse that lights the fire. So I'm excited about it. Here's where we're going to spend the majority of our time. So I'm hopeful, right, that you guys have a pen and paper. I'm very hopeful that you guys have a pen and paper, right? I am going to give you guys just a second to write this down. I'm going to read them all, right? And then we're going to go through each one. The first one in the 7-step framework is get in the growth mindset. That's what we've just talked about, right? We've just talked about what's your value system, okay? Where are you from a mindset standpoint? Because when you think about growth, it's really not just about the money. Money is sort of just the result, right? Extra clients, that's the result, right? Not the starting point. Because if the starting point is always money, you're probably not going to feel very successful starting out. Trust me, I know, right? So get in the growth mindset. So what does that mean? You have to get my handy notebook. You guys know. I always say make sure I have it because I have to write stuff down. So the biggest thing is when you're talking about the mindset, you're not just talking about your business. Remember, this is 360. This is a 360 setup. So you're talking about business, the mindset that you have about your business, your personal mindset, right? How are you mentally and emotionally? What's going on with you in the old noggin, right? What's happening there? What about your financial mindset? What do you think about money? How do you view money? How do you treat it, right? Do you worship it or is it just a tool? Do you invest it? What do you do? What do you do about money, right? And I'm not just idly throwing questions out here, guys. This is why I asked you to make sure that you have a notebook because I want you to make sure that you're writing these things down. The questions that I'm throwing out, I expect you to answer them for yourself because that's the first step. Understanding how to get into the growth mindset. Your answers to those questions, right, starts it all. So you have to understand that. The other thing is your professional mindset, right? So I don't mean professional like a lawyer like me or a CPA like some of you guys that are on here or some of you guys that may be in the medical field. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that part of it. How do you view it, right? Because there are a lot of people that have degrees that are not professional, okay? So the question is, what is your professional mindset? What does it mean to be professional, right? Because it doesn't always mean just rigid. You know, it doesn't mean the briefcase toting lawyer. Trust me, I know. But what it does mean, guys, is you have made a choice to set a tone. What is that? And guess what? There's no right answer. It's sort of based on your brand, right? So these are the things that I think that you have to make sure that you are mindful about when it comes down to getting into the growth mindset. So again, what is your thought process with regard to business? How do you view it? What's going on with you emotionally and mentally? Because there are lots of people that can function day to day, but they're very troubled mentally and emotionally, right? At some point, that instability is going to spill over into whatever's happening with your business. Get that in check, okay? Financial. Again, how do you see money? How do you see money? At the end of the day, what does money mean to you? Answer that question for yourself. Don't put it in the comments. What does money mean to you? Very important. And the last one, again, professional. What is your professional mindset? When you want someone to think about you as an X, right? What is it that you want to portray? Right? So the next one, guys, is very crucial. How many of you know what a bail team is? If you know what a bail team is, put in the comments, I know. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how many people know what a bail team is. Not to say that you probably don't, because most of you probably do, because you're really like cool, fabulous folks. I can just about guess who this is, who knows what a bail team is. Let me see. Yep. It was the person I thought who knew what a bail team was. Because they remember the bail team. How about that? But just quickly. So BAIL is an acronym, and it stands for banker or your money person. B, A, accountant, right? Person that's keeping you out of tax trouble. Make sure your books is right. Okay. Make sure you have that good old tax plan. I is an insurance professional, not just any insurance professional. It must be a person who is savvy with commercial policies, not just writing them. Okay. L is lawyer, right? You must always make sure that you have a lawyer on your team. So once again, your bail team is your banker or your person where you go and get the access to the cash, your accountant, your insurance professional, and your lawyer. So now, for the moment of truth, I want you guys to put in the comments with a yes or a no if you have a bail team, right? If you have a part of a bail team, just say, I have a this or a that, right? So I'm going to pause the share for a second. Let me look at this chat to see who has a bail team. Okay. Some of you do, right? Some of you do. Some of you do not have a bail team, and that's totally fine if you do not have a bail team. Okay, some people have a few parts. Somebody's got an A and an L. Listen, hey, best part, right? And then other people, okay, have parts of a bail team. Okay, I'm loving it. Because guess what? Here's the biggest thing, guys, right? The biggest thing is that that's why you're here. You're here to understand what you need, right? If you have what you need, it's awesome, right? That means that you are ready to take your business to the next level. If you don't have what you need, that's why you're here, right? That's why you're here. You're here so that you can find out what are those other missing pieces, and you can work with people like me and other folks on this feed that can help you. Listen, believe it or not, it's a whole bail team actually on this webinar, right? So I'm excited about that. So I want to spend just a little bit of time, and so let me tell you why it's important to have a bail team. And I know some of you guys are probably saying, well, it's obvious why you would want a banker or a finance person and an accountant and an insurance person and a lawyer. But let me tell you about the not so obvious things, right? Okay, because here's the thing. When you have an established relationship with a banker or a finance person, guess what? Depending on the level of that relationship, credit and collateral may not be as important, right? So you may be able to get an infusion of cash that you need at the time, right? Some liquid capital. You may need that for something, right? You may decide that you're going to get that you need to get a line of credit, that you need to, there's a few things that you need. You need to have that relationship for that purpose, right? So that when you need money, you can get it. It's not to just rob and just pilfer, right? Because you want to make sure that you're being fiscally responsible, right? But again, you also want to make sure that you have access to those liquid funds if you need them, right? So the accountant, some of you say, well, I need an accountant for my taxes. Let me tell you something. You don't need an accountant just on the back end to do your taxes. You actually need to work with your accountant at the beginning of the year, like now, so that you can put a tax plan in place so that throughout the year, you are meeting your tax goals. Because guess what? One year, your goal may be, listen, I need to get a big fat refund, or I need to pay as little taxes as possible, right? If you're looking to pay as little taxes as possible, right, your accountant, your CPA can help you, or your tax attorney can help you lay out some of those plans and tells you the exact steps that you need to take to make sure that you're reaching those goals, right? You have your monthly goals, you have your quarterly goals, you have your biannual goals, and each time you want to evaluate and reevaluate those goals. Sometimes some things happen within the tax year that you have to go back to your tax accountant, right? Or you have to go back to your CPA, whichever one you decide to use. And then you can adjust that plan, but at least you're in a great position. You're in a great position moving forward. So it's very important, guys, that you really think about your accountant as being more than the person that handles the payroll, right? They're more than the person that, quote unquote, keeps the books. They're really that person that can help you with your overall financial future for your business, right? And do what? Protect your brand, right? Protecting those assets from the IRS by making sure that you're not caught up in a tax situation. So you also want to make sure that you check those folks out. And that is a standing uh, uh, rule, right? That's standing advice. You want to check all these folks out. That's why I'm saying build relationships, right? Very important, build relationships. For those of you that are going to become a part of our network, you're going to have access to reputable people that this is what they do, right? Again, you always got to do your due diligence, but at least you know that these are people that have been vetted up front. Insurance professional, right? It can't be a person that's just licensed to sell insurance. I'm licensed to sell insurance, right? I don't, but I'm licensed to sell insurance. Why would you do that? Well, I'm licensed to sell insurance so that I can understand all aspects of the bail team, right? Because here's the thing. You want an insurance professional that is experienced in writing the type of policies that you need, okay? Now that sounds pretty simple, right? But it's not. So what you have to know is you have to know those things that you need to discuss with them so that you can identify, because oftentimes they're not asking you certain questions, right? Because they're looking at coverage for certain things, right? What they pay out, what they don't pay out. But you have to think beyond that, which is why we tell you guys to have your bail team. Because guess what? Your attorney, your lawyer is going to tell you a lot of those things, at least I know I do, a lot of the things that you need to talk with your insurance professional about, even if you already have insurance. If I talk with you about something and you're not covered, I'm going to advise you go back to your insurance professional and talk with them about this. It's just as simple as that. You guys may know 100 insurance professionals, but they all don't write the type of policies that you may need in your business. This is very business specific, right? I saw someone had an entertainment company, right? So depending on whether that's static or travel, they may need certain types of coverage, depending on whether or not they're going to be doing just independent contractors, right? Okay, are they going to be doing production, or maybe not, right? These are all things, again, this is why you need to have that bail team on the front end. This is why you need to have those consultations on the front end, so that as you're putting these things together, you are already ready to go. Same thing with your lawyer, right? You need to, because let me just say this. Whenever you're choosing a lawyer, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter who you work with, you need to work with a lawyer that understands your vision and your industry, right? Now, one thing about a lawyer that I will tell you guys, just like with insurance professionals, the more you grow, and if you're looking to grow a legacy, you're going to have multiple lawyers. But we're talking about starting out. So when you're looking at someone that's starting out, they need to have an understanding or at least a working knowledge of your industry, right? And they need to understand your vision so that they can put the proper framework in place for you, okay? Very important. If you're talking to a lawyer, right, and you feel at the end of the consultation, they had no clue about my business, you may not want to join them, right? You may not, that's not a person on your bail team, because bail is just like when you have bail for jail, right? These are the people that get you out of stuff, right? For us, for what I'm recommending and what my team does is really preventative for you to make sure that you're good to go. And then you have access to us moving forward, right? So it's very vital. You want to make sure that you are positioned where you're going to have access to people, okay? Got to make sure that you do that. So we've talked about getting into the proper mindset. Hope you guys were taking notes. We also talked about the bail team and each member of the bail team, each component of the bail team, and the things that you need to be prepared for. So I want to move forward, right, just a bit, because one of the biggest things that you must know when you're getting ready for growth is who's your customer, right? Okay, so those of you, right, that are still with me and still excited and still motivated, in the chat box, I want everyone to tell me who their customer is in the chat box. I want to know right now. I'm taking some time. I want to see who your customer is. I'm waiting. So I'm going to give you guys, listen, this is interactive. I told you. When we do these webinars, they are interactive. So who is your customer? Okay. Okay. Albert Williams' customer is the transition population. Okay. So his is the transition population. Anybody else? Okay. Someone put in chat box. Listen, you can use the chat box or the Q&A. Okay. So Barbara's customers are parents of high school and college students, early career professionals, and adults in career transition. Sophia's customers are businesses and individuals. Okay. Everybody else, who's your customer? Okay. Marcelle's customers are entertainers. Antonia's customers are small businesses and entrepreneurs. Okay. So there are a few more people that did not get a chance to answer. I think, okay, let's see. Levante says he's revamping some things right now, so I'm developing that customer profile. Okay, great. Great. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. When you say who your customer is, right, it needs to be a person that you can point to. Right? It needs to be a person that you can point to. It needs to be a person that you can reach out and touch. Why? Because you want to be able to say, profile, this is my customer. Who are they? Right? Specifically. Male, female, how old are they? Right? If they're business owners, what type of businesses? And when I say what type of businesses, it doesn't have to be like boutique owners, for example, not that specific. Or it could be depending on what your brand is. But one of the things that I want you to know about knowing your customer is this. You have to be able to know them well enough that if you needed to drive up to your customer, you could find them. Right? Or if you needed to find them in cyberspace, you could find them. So one of the things that I want everyone to do after tonight, well, you know what? I'm going to say this, but we're going to go over this. I want you guys to, there's an exercise attached to each one of these, right? Okay, so we got another comment. Let me see what y'all got going on in the chat box. Okay, Marshall has a nonprofit that she's working on. So she says when she gets it off the ground, her customer will be the homeless and almost homeless. So those under threat of homelessness. So great, awesome. So here's the thing that I want you guys to do, right? I want you guys to, for number one, I've already told you, I want you to think about all of those things that we talk about. And I want you to write it down, right? Because you got to determine where you are in your mindset space. For those of you that are not working with a life coach, if you need it, let us know, right? Okay, so the same thing about a bail team. I know some of you have a bail team. Great, awesome. But also take into account the things that I talked about. Because again, like I said, your insurance professional and your lawyer, you may need more than one, depending on the type of business that you have. The other thing too is for those of you that don't have a bail team, start brainstorming, right? You don't have to go out and spend money and hire people tomorrow, right? But start brainstorming on who that person could possibly be or that company could possibly be. So you have to think about that. You want to do the same thing with your customer. Some of you have a great command of exactly who your customer is, right? Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, the other side of knowing your customer is, where are they? Meaning, how do you find them? How do you reach out and touch that customer? Either physically or in the virtual world. Because that's step number 3, right? How do you reach out? How do you touch that customer? Because that's going to be the biggest thing. For those of you that are revamping, once you revamp, you're going to have to go through this process. But part of revamping is understanding who your customer are, especially who your customer is, especially if you have a product-based business, right? Which leads us to number 4. You got to know and understand your product, right? What product do you have? What do you have to offer? What are you offering people? Because here's the thing. Some of you may think that your customer is one person and or entity, and your customer really is not. Your customer may be someone else. One great thing I saw was someone who said that their customer was parents of kids, right? Now, I don't know much about their business, but just from that, it lets me know that more than likely the children are the ones receiving the service. But they have a command of who their actual target is. They target parents because the parents are the one that's going to have to pay for this. Right? Great. Awesome. That is awesome. I love that. You have to do the same thing with your product, because once you know your customer, you have to then research to say, well, does this customer use this product? Because a lot of times we'll create something and we want certain people to use it only to research and find out they don't even have need of that service. Right? And even if they have need of it, are they using it? That's the question that you have to answer. Not do they need it? Not is there a demand? Do they use it? Do they take advantage of it? Very important. For you to position your product properly, you must know, is somebody going to actually buy it? Not do they need it? Are they going to buy it? Right? That same thing with services. Are they going to purchase your services? Are they going to purchase your services? Right? The other thing is, who else is in the marketplace that's doing the same thing that you're doing? You must understand your competition. You need to understand them to the point of knowing what works for them. If you don't have any competition, right? Certain aspects of your business, there are competitors. Look at what they're doing. What's working, right? And how can you muscle in on that market share, right? Because that's why you want to understand the competition. You want to know what they're doing. You want to know what's going on, right? And you must be able to command that portion of the marketplace that you want. In order to be able to do that, you got to bump out the competition more than likely, right? Or at least get a piece of that market share. Very, very, very important. Very important. So the next thing is something I called P cubed, right? Understanding the P cubed. And this is where your Bell team, guys, just comes in handy, like, oh my God, right? Because what they do is they help you establish your P3, right? They help you establish your P3, which are your plans, your procedures, your processes, right? For those of you that have products, right? What is your plan from getting that product from let's say if it's a product that you're creating, meaning that you're assembling it, you're creating, what's your plan for putting that in place, right? What's the protocol? What's your quality control, right? And what's the procedures from getting it from that state to the final state? How do you do that, right? What are your procedures for taking orders and filling orders, right? For those of you that have products, again, what about returns? Even for those of you that have services, what if a customer isn't happy with the service that you provided, but you've already done the work? What procedure do you have in place of dealing with customer complaints? What plan do you have in place of making sure that the customer is satisfied, right? Again, this is why your Bell team is important. That's why it's at the top. That's why it's once you make your mind up and everything else is good, you get a Bell team. That's exactly why it's number 2. Because from the outset, these are the folks that you need to be working with. Because you should have done all the vision boards, all the brainstorming, get your mind right. You should have already talked to your life coach. You should have already done all of that, right? Now it's time to sit down and talk with the people that's going to help you get your plans, your procedures, and your processes in place. Very vital. Once you do that, now you're ready to implement, launch You're ready to grow, right? So the question is, again, once you get your Bell team established, they're going to help you with your P3, your plans, your procedures, and your processes. Now, on the bottom, on the back side of your plans, procedures, and process, there's an implementation strategy, right? When do you implement this? What is it that happens in your business that throws this plan or this procedure or this process into action, right? That's your implementation, okay? For those of you that are launching your business, right, or launching your brand, right, I'm sure you got a countdown, because if you was working with a Bell team, you would. There are certain things that you need to do at certain points. Some of those things I mentioned, I couldn't go over everything tonight, but some of those things I mentioned to you, okay? Same thing with your implementation, okay? That's internal. Implementation is internal. Launch is external. That's when everybody finds out about it. That's when people know about it. That's when people find out this is what you do, right? So again, very important. Now, I want in the chat box, right? In the chat box, I want to see who's going to, who can follow, who's going to follow this 7-step framework. Let me just see that. I want hashtag me. Hashtag me. I'm looking at hashtag me. I'm looking for hashtag me. I want a commitment tonight from those of you. I want a commitment from everybody. Even if you're not going to do it, at least say, I ain't going to do it. I need to know where you are. I know how many participants are on. I know how many of you are on, and everybody is not participating. Everybody hasn't participated. Everybody hasn't participated, guys. Okay, well, it's okay. It's okay if you don't participate, I guess. It's okay for you not to make the commitment. But here's the thing. You're really making the commitment to yourself, right? You're not making the commitment to me. You're making the commitment to yourself, right? It's very important. It's very important that you make the commitment to yourself that you're going to implement these things, because remember, at the very beginning, we talked about, what do I want out of this, right? And that's one of the things that I want you guys to do. I want you guys to implement, right? Now, here's one of the biggest things that I think is really important, right? I asked you this, guys, earlier. Wait, I think I missed somebody. Let's see. Okay, so some people say, hey, they already getting started. Okay, so earlier I asked people, which would they rather have? 24/7 DIY access, right? And this is for you self-starters, right? If you want to be a self-starter, that's great. If you know and you are confident that all you need is the right materials to get started, great, right? Some of us, like me, I told you guys my story at the top of the webinar, right? I needed a team, right? I needed a team. So in the chat box, I want you guys to choose between A and B. Which one? Now that we've gone through everything, right? Now that we've gone through everything, let's make our choices. Let's make our selections. Which would you rather have? 24/7 DIY access to things like contracts, right? And you can just do it yourself, right? If a checklist. There's a lot of wealth of information. It's a little bit slower this time. Before, everybody was like pumping. Yes, a lot of information to think about. And we don't have long. This is a 1-hour webinar. It is exactly 6:54, right? So again, everybody votes. Let me see what we got going on here. So I got a few people that have voted. Okay, I got a few people that have voted. Let me see what we got going on. All right, we got B. Somebody said, I thought I was an A or a DIYer, but now I see I need a team. B. Okay, missed the question. So let me pull it back up for you. So the question is, which would you rather have? Would you rather have an A or would you rather have a B? So let me see what we got going on here. We got a few other people. I like DIY, but definitely need a team. Okay. Someone else says B. Okay. So I think that the consensus now is that you really see, and this is why we do that question at the beginning and at the end, because we want you guys to understand all those things that go in the middle from when you do it yourself. I know you guys are really awesome, right? You're already in business. You're like straight, kicking butt out there. But guess what? You can never do everything just on your own, right? You can never do everything just on your own. So I promised you in the beginning that we would do something called a fast acting bonus, right? One of the things about the investment that I want to tell you guys about, I want to go through some of the things that's typical in working with us. Stay to the end, don't leave. But fast acting bonus number one is for those of you that again, for you DIYers, right? I have something called the 360 degree brand protection vault. What that is, it's sample contracts, right? That has been vetted and approved by myself and other people, right? We have things like your videos, right? So that you can do your own list and things like that, right? And this is monthly access. You have 24/7 access. Also now, we also have team access, right? So we have the options for the team access. Again, typically that is $4.97 a month, just to let you guys know, just to give you a little bit of an idea. See, fast acting bonus, right? It get real big on you, right? So the second thing is fast acting bonus number two. My friend Audrey Bell Kearney is the founder and president of HerTube Media Network, and she has this really awesome training. And it's really for those of you that are looking to utilize video, right? One of the things that she does is she shows you specifically how to take your video and monetize it, right? So for those of you that do products and you want people to know about your products, those of you that do services, Audrey has a really great training that she does on monetizing your video. Now, she normally charges $4.97 for that training, but for you guys, she's going to do something better, right? Fast acting bonus number two. Okay. Number three, I have a program called Using Your Pocketbook to Build Your Business, right? And it's really awesome, okay? That program normally is $2.97, but it's really about how to leverage the people that you already have, right? Your existing contacts to create new and recurring business. That's typically $2.97, okay? And then our fast acting bonus number four, right, which is what I'm proud of, which is what the testimonial video was about, is our Orchestrate Success Mastermind Group. It's a 3-month membership. The fast acting bonus number four is a 3-month membership. You also get access to the 360 brand protection vault that we talked about. That's supposed to say access, 24/7 access to the team. That's what that's supposed to say. And then you get your one-on-one strategy session with me, yours truly. All of that is normally $5,000 or $49.97, right? So today, what are we going to do differently? Today, if you decide to do the fast acting bonus number one, which is normally $4.97. Now, again, this is A or B, right? Remember, we did our A or B. It's only $97 today. And I'm going to make sure that I put the information in the chat box for those of you that want to partake on that today. Again, that is today, meaning before 11:59 p.m. tonight, right? So again, that's a $4.97 value. So you're actually saving $400 if you take advantage of that tonight. Fast acting bonus number two, same thing. Audrey has agreed to take off $400 for those of you that want to take advantage of that tonight. Number three, pocketbook business. Now that's normally $297, right? So actually it's a $250 savings if you decide that you want to take advantage of that tonight. Again, that's literally how to leverage your already existing contacts to create new business. Tonight only, it is $47, right? So then fast acting bonus number four. Now this is the biggest savings of all, right? That $5,000 or that $49.97 bonus where you get access to the mastermind group, right? You get access to the vault. You get access to the team. You get a one-on-one session. $4.97 today, right? That is actually what I normally don't do. I know y'all, my CPA might just say, don't ever do that again. But one of the things that I definitely want to share with you guys is that this is really this for me is really about making sure that my clients have access to what they need access for, right? Having access not just to items, but also to people. Because the biggest thing about that, and I'm going to drop all this in here for you guys, just so you can see this. I'm sharing this. I think I put it all in there. Wait a minute. Yes, I want to share these options. Yeah, I want to share actually how to take advantage of these options with you guys today. Let me make sure I got this right. Don't beat me up, y'all. You know, this is my first interactive webinar. Normally, I'm just kind of just doing this. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so let me know in the chat box, guys, if you can see the links in the chat box. Let me know very quickly if you can see the links in the chat box. You cannot see the links in the chat box. It's really interesting because I'm seeing the links in the chat box. All right, what about now? Let me know if you can see the links in the chat box. Okay, so those are the links in the chat box. Those are the links that we talked about, guys, to the different fast acting bonuses. Remember, you have your choice between the DIY access. You know, I'm really excited. We went just like 2 minutes over. But again, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this webinar. What I would like for you guys to do is go on over to the I Protect Your Brand with Latanya Moore Facebook page. Leave a review. We always love reviews. For those of you that are part of the 360 Brand Protection group on Facebook, let us know in there, like what are some top things that you learned from that. And the other thing too is before we leave, I actually have a giveaway. Right, I have a giveaway. I just gotta find it. Okay, so the giveaway